Black August Studios, right here in 2021, man. I got my boy Big Purse, Spoon, and Money. Purse had to bring the big guns in on me, man. So he brought the big guns on me. So he hit me on the phone, and I was like, "Fuck it, man. Let's make it happen." At Black August Studios, we want to be the most correct that we can, and if we can get the story from the people that were actually there, I'm queuing in Money right now on that. We're gonna get that story, man. So I appreciate you, Percy, for giving me a call and letting me know that, man, we gotta come back. We gotta run it back one time.
We had to.
I appreciate that, man. So, man, I wanna get a MP Hood perspective, man. That's what I called it, man, because I wanted to hear your perspective and how you guys view things, because I know how the city looked at y'all. You know what I mean? I would hear different things from the south side to the east side, and maybe some guys on the west side. But you guys also had a perspective, and like I was telling Purse, man, I went to school with some of the dudes from MP, man, and I've never really had no issue with them. It's always been hey, you know what I'm saying? Do your thing. But I think it's an interesting story. So I already talked with you, Purse, man, and we're gonna be cutting you in and out of this. But we'll go with Spoon. Both of y'all, Spoon and Money, man. Could you tell me about if you was born in San Jose, or if you're not, where you're originally from, and how'd you get to San Jose?
Shit, I'm from Richmond. You know what I mean? Richmond, California, Bay Area, East Bay. You feel me? I came to San Jose because my pops was living in San Ho.
Right.
You feel me? My mom and pop split up. He was in San Ho. You feel me? So when I ever did go visiting, I would come to San Jose. I was real young though, so I really, just coming to visit. But I say around 90, about 93, 92. I went to like last month of junior high school out there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Went to Monroe. You feel me? And finished that and went to the east side, and I ended up going to Creek. You feel me? 9th grade, fresh, don't know nobody. That's how I met P. Diddy. That's how I met Purse. You feel me? And then, it just went from there, just growing up there for the last couple years, you feel me? But, you know what I'm saying, I didn't meet the whole hood until I moved to the hood.
That's right.
You feel me?
Okay.
I just ended up moving there and mingling with niggas that's already over there, you know what I'm saying, on the normal level, you feel me?
Right.
The gang politics was there, but it really wasn't. We was just all still young too, so it was really coming from an older perspective, like certain niggas that's already moving over there. You know what I mean? But
Yes,
for me, I was coming from somewhere else, so it wasn't really that with me. Like these niggas was my homies. You feel me? So,
okay. Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how it all came about. You know what I'm saying?
Right on. What about you, Money? What you looking like on that part, man? Are you from San Jose?
Yeah, I'm from San Jose.
Okay, born?
Born and raised,
What hospital you was born in, man?
Santa Clara.
Okay.
Born in Santa Clara Hospital. You feel me? My mom and them moved out from Alabama, so I had more of a southern upbringing. My pops and them was kind of real strict and all the stuff. When I was coherent to stuff, I lived in Seven Trees. I lived off on Center Road, you know what I mean, like 205 Center Road for most of my whole life. Well, not most of my life, till I got to the 5th grade. You know what I mean? I went to Seven Trees Elementary School. You know what I mean? I went to the Little Red Preschool on Center Road. If anybody from Seven Trees familiar, they know that area.
Right.
So, I did my whole life in San Ho. And I was able to see a lot of the transitions and the way, things was moving in San Jose from just my eyesight, my age range.
So back in them early days, man, because I talked to Percy about this, that when I came from LA, we lived in Trees too. So maybe that was a black area at the time. We lived in Trees too.
It was.
So from your earliest memories, are you fond of those memories? Were the good days for you?
Yeah, when I lived, we used to slide down the hills. This was when playing outside was still cool. You know what I mean? It was still buzzing. I used to go to Solari Park, you know what I mean? Run through Seven Trees. My dad was in the Cadillac Club. You know what I mean? It was more black, and a lot of people that did come from LA. You know what I mean? There was a lot of people that did migrate there from LA, and they came towards Seven Trees. Most of the people that migrated from the Bay Area moved towards Mount Pleasant and that side of the east side, because at that time frame, that's where the blacks and the Mexicans were. Was on the east side, you know. On the south side, that was Blossom Hill, all that. That was where the white folks was at.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the west, that type stuff. So, you know, I had fond memories there. You know what I mean? And that was prior to any gang banging, because in what I saw growing up to being 8 years old in Seven Trees, there was no Crip affiliation. There was no Blue Rag.
What year was this?
This, I say 83.
Okay.
So, I mean, just in the 70s, I was born in 73.
Mm-hmm.
From 73 to 80, I definitely didn't see any gang affiliation. If you was a Crip in that time frame that I just spoke of, you came from LA. You weren't from San Jose and you were a Crip.
Right.
You were either in your clique, you was a SJ Rip, or at that time it was Sunny Woods Rips. That's when over there by Cypress Village. When it used to be Sunny Woods. It was NHP. It was PBS. It was just cliques.
Okay.
That, you know what I mean? And
what about the Samoans? Were you?
SOS was always SOS.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They was always, but as us being black, we weren't really into that. Unless you lived over there in their area, you wasn't really privileged to that. We weren't into that. We was in the black stuff. We was on, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Your mom and daddy they gonna tell you, hey, come here, young blood, come over here. You know, they was still tapering with scissors.
That's right. That's right. So what schools did you attend? Because that was excellent what you just said. What schools did you attend? You went to elementary and
I went to Seven Trees Elementary. I have a sister that was older than me. She went to Silverdale and Andrew Hill, but I never went to those two. Mm-hmm. I ended up going from there to Norwood Creek, and then I went to Quimby, and then to Mount Pleasant. Okay. I went to Silver Creek for a hot second, but it was a quick little second.
That's right.
We all stopped at Silver Creek.
So, this question is an open question. You know, I want to hear the perspective again. At what point did y'all start to get involved with any kind of street politics or organizations? Or what year? Spoon, you said 93, 94. That's when you first came out of Richmond. So, Money, since you the elder statesman here, man, what happened for you, man?
Well, it just seemed like, so I ended up going to, I went to Mount Pleasant about, let's say about 88, about 87, 88. They had a group, we had it was like a high school group. It was Posse One Connection, you know, and it wasn't a gang, it was just cats that went to Mount Pleasant, and, you know, we had hats, or, you know what I mean, I was a youngster. The people that were really in it were 11th to 12th grade. I was a freshman. Right. So I'm just getting in with it. You know what I mean? Right. You'll get you a hat, you'll put your name on it, you'll put your turf, whatever little flair you have on it, and you'll wear your hat. And at that time frame, it was Mill Peters that you get up Friday, everybody goes, they posse up, go to Mill Peters, and you try to take their hats, because they had hats that said M-Town and whatever, you know, my Uzi Wedge Town, whatever, you know what I mean, Public Enemy song, whatever. And this is what we did. You go in and if you got to ride in, you got to ride in. Sometimes I squeezed in with the seniors and juniors, and sometimes I didn't get to get in.
So the Posse One hats, did they say Posse One or did they say MP Hood at that time?
No, it said Posse One.
Okay.
There was, you know what I mean? At this point, because Mount Pleasant it was a neighborhood.
Okay.
I've always liked, it was spoke on that, you know, middle income or, you know what I mean, type stuff. We was middle low class. Yeah. But our folks made it happen. So you lived there, we lived in the neighborhood. We didn't live on a block. This wasn't a street. You know what I mean? This ain't no apartments. This is an actual neighborhood. You know what I mean? And if you're from the neighborhood, you're from the neighborhood. At this point, at that junction. But this, Posse One is gonna say Posse One, and the Mill Peters hat's gonna say M-Town, and you know, we went back and forth with that. To me, that kind of faded away after the juniors and seniors started getting out of high school, and they elevated to not doing it anymore. You know
so I want to, because I'm interested now, let's go back to these hats.
Yes, sir.
Were these the hats with the iron on shit on there?
No.
Y'all got them stitched?
At this point, you had to go to Eastmont Mall to be able to get it because it's a fitted hat. So only people that did the back of the fitted hat was Eastmont Mall. You could get it in East Ridge, but they couldn't do the back. They could only do the sides, and that was at that time.
Is this the one with the fingers on there, the peace signs? You remember them?
With the hats?
They used to have the hats with the peace signs and all
Oh,
that.
yeah, you have a peace sign. It depends what you had. Like, you start out with a blank screen, and then you
Okay.
gonna put the P1C, then you might put Public Any song quote or something.
That's
you
what's
know?
up, man. That's
It was
old
fun though,
school.
you know. Sometimes you'll have your hat took. Sometimes you'll take a hat.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
I've got a hat. I've got a couple took. You know.
That's real. That's real. You gangster. So you being a freshman at the time, and the Posse One was going on, and the seniors and the juniors start to graduate away. So what? That it sounds like you came to a crossroads there.
Yes. So the crossroads end up coming. A lot of people might feel offended by it. You know what I mean? But this is just like I said. This is what I saw.
It's your
you know?
truth.
So, like
You're making an I statement.
Right. This is my statement. This is what I saw.
Right.
So, about April of '88, there was a movie that came out. It came out on a Friday, right? So once Friday came, I got to school Monday. You can't say blood no more. You can't wear red no more. I mean, it was just the whole swap. Everything changed in San Jose. And that kind of like put a split in our city because it was like people that I played football with, I didn't play, you know what I mean, Evergreen or East Side Counts or whatever, you know what I mean, we've interacted. I grew up, which I knew you from when we was in school at Seven Trees when I was in third grade. I still
Right,
remember you.
right.
But at this point, he's gangbanging now.
Mm.
And he's cripping. And they looking like Rocket. Everybody want to be Rocket at this time. There was no soft movement on that. Everything was aggressive, and it was an aggressive switch, you know. And it kind of felt pressurous, like you know, it was the pressure of it, and a lot of people turned. A lot of the city changed, you know, and our school, we wear red, you know what I mean? We have red, we say, but there's a lot of people that, like I say earlier, a lot of people migrated from the Bay Area to that area.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we say blood. That was always a word. One thing I do want to touch back on in my eyesight, San Jose, it was always a little issue as far as being considered the Bay Area, or if we want to be the Bay, or all this. You know what I mean?
Right.
But geographically speaking, I didn't make the geograph. I didn't make the map and cut the lines and stuff. San Jose is the Santa Clara Valley. It is south of the Bay Area. It's the South Bay. That's just what it is. When I see Channel 2 News, because I got the same news, Frisco got KTVU, same radio station, KSU, I got all the same stuff that everybody in the Bay Area got. I didn't get the Peninsula News. They didn't say, hey, this is just Santa Clara News. None of that. I got the Bay Area News. This is what it was. And all through the 70s, this is just what it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then as the split came, then that's when it started being an alienation, because other people from the Bay Area is saying that it's, you know what I mean, being Crips or gang members in the Bay Area, in San Jose, and it's a majority of them. You know what I mean? To where now it's a movement, it's a push. Now everybody sees that San Jose is not the Bay. We're not accepting that in the Bay.
Right.
But now you still have people that are like, I'm not on that. Like,
Right.
I wasn't tripping off that. I'm not really on that. You know what I mean? I'm still with this black movement that we got
Straight
going
up.
on in the Bay Area.
Straight
you know?
up.
So
That's crazy that you covered that, because each one of my interviews I asked that. Do you consider San Jose the Bay Area? And when I answer it, I'm on that same tip as far as geographically it is. But from my perspective, when I start talking street politics and prison politics, then it's not.
right.
My viewpoint of it. But like I was telling my boy Percy, there's no right or wrong answer here. You know,
Right.
some people feel this way and some people feel that way. And I'm with whoever. I'm with y'all just based on the fact y'all from East San Jose. Period. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Oh, straight
Just
up.
off top.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so I got some my homeboy KD. he has Bay Area tattooed on his chest, and as a person, he rocked with me since
Yeah,
day one.
day one.
And that's my dude.
Now I got a question,
So,
right?
Keith.
And this is a serious question,
Go ahead.
and like I got family members that are from 7th Street.
Uh-huh.
Excuse me. And we always have this debate, and I'm just curious what you think. When I went to 7th Street Elementary School, all my report cards, my books, everything that's stamped on it said East Side School District, right? And at that time frame, I was under the pretense that everything across Monterey from the train tracks, that way was the south side. From this side, this way was the east side. That's like, and hence it didn't say South Side School District, it said East Side School District. So I'm curious, when did it come about that that side of San Jose was considered the east? I mean, the south.
The South. You know what? That's a very good question. I know my era, and I'm in the Spoon Percy era.
Yeah, yeah.
My era, we consider us on the east side, on McKee and Rancho Ray Checkers, we considered Andrew Hill and everything back south side.
That was already considered.
That's how we looked. That's the start of them over there.
And that's how we kind of looked at it too, though. You know what I'm saying? Because you didn't really go past that. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like we said we never went to the South when we were young because it was too far.
Right.
Before they built that 87 and 85, it take you an hour to get to the South side of San Jose, Blossom Hill from the east. You know what I mean? You wasn't going to make that trip. You know what I'm saying?
But
So,
it is East Side Union High School
It
District.
is though.
It is.
I ain't saying nothing.
Yeah.
I'm saying to my folks and all the shit. I ain't saying that. I'm just,
Right, right.
I just was curious. Just curious.
It
You know what I
is.
mean?
And that encompasses Andrew Hill, Oak Grove, Santa Teresa,
Yeah,
all
all
that.
that.
That's all them schools is under that.
Yeah, all that.
So yeah.
So,
That's deep. That's deep. I never thought of it from that perspective, and I went to school in that same system.
Yeah, and I did think of Seven Trees though as East Side though.
Yeah.
I did consider them that though.
Right. Right.
That's what they shouted.
Oh, that's deep. What neighborhood would you consider yourself from? Now we speaking. After you guys started to get into the politics, you explained a little bit about it.
What it ended up seeming like I say, when you came back to school, you couldn't say blood, you couldn't wear red, you couldn't do nothing. If you did, you was getting the shit jumped out you, like just straight up. Like I mean,
And that was at Mount Pleasant High School.
Nah, not at just period throughout San Jose,
Okay.
because at this point the whole city is up under the movement. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you go to East Ridge, you go anywhere, you catch the bus, you go to, you know what I mean, wherever you get caught at. That's what's gonna happen. They gonna hit you up. They gonna get you say blood, and then they gonna do the fool with you. And you could have just had on a cute Niner jersey that your mama got you for Christmas, then you just gonna get that business. So at this point, as it starts to go, maybe within a year of this, maybe, you know what I mean, maybe a little bit more, it just got to where there was a band of people, or not a band of people, it was just people from that area. A few of them were from Posse One, you know what I mean? It was mostly people that actually went to the school and was from the neighborhood, and you know what I mean? They were like, we're not gonna go for that, you know what I mean? If it is the pressure, but we're not just gonna succumb to it. I'm not gonna just, you know what I mean?
So
You know, just go for that. So if somebody asks you something, they're asking you, are you a gang member? But they're asking you in a derogatory way.
right.
They've already disrespected you. You feel me? There's no explaining that can go, because all you can do is be like, oh no, I'm not a blood, and then yeah, you better not be in da-da-da, and then whoop you. Or you be like, yeah, anyway. So you know what I mean? It gets to the point like I'm not gonna explain myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now, all right, well now I'm gonna say blood more. You know what I mean? Now I'm aware of where it's now. You know what I mean? Like, hey, fuck it, I'm from San Jose. Like, you can't tell me, you know what I mean? This is the mind state and the attitude of it and of these peoples. I'm not saying names because, you know, I didn't pre-holler at nobody, so I'm not here to I'm just speaking about how it came about, and I'm not here to name names. So if somebody watching and they get upset, this is why I'm not screaming out names or none of that. I'm just, you know.
Respect.
So
So what I'm getting, a movie comes out
sorry.
the next day, just like Old Town 25 came out. The next day, everybody was moonwalking at school.
Right. Everybody knew karate when Bruce Lee came out.
Movie come out. So now you have people that are under these gang names, these politics. Influx of Crips, influx of Blue.
Blue was the
Now,
predominant.
It was predominant. So now, thinking of how you said that, thinking about Los Angeles and when Tookie and Raymond Washington started up with the Crips out there, the Bloods were formed in the answer to those people who didn't want to conform to the Crip way. So would you consider MP Hood on that same line of thinking, not wanting to conform to the majority and standing alone?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
definitely.
I want to elaborate on that, man. It's like this. I say in 1990, like, I came from the rich freshman year. I mean, this dude, we wasn't on nothing, bro. We was regular kids, like, you know what I'm saying? And then in the Bay, you know, in the Bay, it's just regular. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like blackness, you know what I'm saying? This is where niggas is playing out, actually playing outside, getting into stuff, you know, doing whatever. When I came to Silver Creek, you know what I'm saying? It was a few times, I'm just automatically, my pops, everybody in my family, we saying blood. What's up, young blood, this and that.
Right.
A few times at my school, when I was going to that school, and we talking amongst other young brothers, and I say blood, and then I got a reaction like a few times, like, what? Blood? Don't you be saying that, this Crip. I'm like, what? Like, not even knowing. I say about after like the third time, it don't even matter no more. I'm actually on the defense. I'm gonna be a blood for the second or whatever, and
That's
getting
right.
down with you in the whole nine. And that's
That's
kind of like how it kind of went for a minute, like for me at least. You know what I'm saying? Before how I got introduced to it was like that. You know what I mean? It didn't really make me none. I just went back to my normal self. But then when I moved to the hood, and it was like he said, it's an actual neighborhood. Like I lived in a house. It's right across the street from Mount Pleasant. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to the school. Every street is like black. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it was.
Real black community. I mean, all of us actually literally lived around the corner
Right,
from each other
yeah.
or down the street.
True that.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was real, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't really see none of that until, like, I started linking up with more of the residents that was already, you know, residing there already. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of really do play a part in some of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm gonna say that too. And another thing is, you gotta understand, it really wasn't like you say, it was already a neighborhood. If you from our neighborhood, you already from it.
Yeah.
But now, at this point, it's just a collective of cats that's finna play the game, though. You know what I mean?
Let's
You
go
still
play the
got
game.
other people that's not playing the game that are still from Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
They're not from MP Hood, though.
Yeah,
right.
They're from the Mount Pleasant neighborhood.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They OGs, they whatnot like that.
Right.
But it was a group of people that we finna play the game, and since y'all tripping, we tripping too then. You know what I mean? But we didn't have the gang bang structure per se that folks would have. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't have no big leader.
Uh-huh.
There wasn't no big leader. I might be older.
Right.
I might have did more shit than you, so you might have respect me a little bit more. You
Right.
might not respect him as much. We all alpha males. We all, you know what I mean? Grown folks, you know what I mean? We all men. So it ain't no big homie, little homie. I can't send none of these cats to go do nothing. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go ride for them. You know what I mean? I can't torpedo none of that. I can't make no calls like that. We never had that structure,
Yeah, not
that
like
hierarchy.
that.
We didn't have no get quoted on or get jumped in, or you gotta go put in work to get on. You know what I mean?
Right.
We didn't have none of that. If how you got on is when you got jumped by one of them. You know what I mean? When somebody from the other side jumped you, we know you stood tall. You feel me? You stood firm, you got down, you rocked, you come over, you lumped up. Hey, they jumped you in, you in the hood. Hey, you feel me?
And then that's
It's just
real.
what it
That's
is.
how you
'Cause
happen, though.
if you want to rock with it, you gonna rock with it. If
Right.
you don't, you don't. It's like, you know what I mean? It's not nothing that you do. Oh, you know what I mean? Because we got numerous people that are from different cities that
Right.
live here. That, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
Spoon, that come like, hey man, I'm not with that, and this is the only spot that's not with that. So I'm gonna come fuck with y'all.
Percy explained that when we had lunch a couple weeks ago, and he was telling me that, and I could see that because I remember back in my days when I had my curl or my perm, and I would have interactions with some brothers from the Mount Pleasant area, and I'd be like, man, where you from? I'm from Mount Pleasant. Was you a blood? And a lot of them were like, no, I'm from the Bay. I'm a Bay Area dude, man. I'm not tripping like that. A lot of them, some of the ones I'm talking about, they really weren't on that page. As far as this is B gang and this and that, they was really from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And they wasn't tripping. And they would look at you like, man, what you tripping on?
And you gotta
Bro,
realize,
Because it was-
a lot of innocent bystanders got hit too, just going to Mount Pleasant.
I
You know what I mean?
understand
They're not even really with it, You know what I mean? Yeah, I go to Mount Pleasant. They thought that just meant like you
Automatic.
blood, you out of MP hood. You know what I mean? So they getting whooped on, and then you had a little animosity about that.
Of course.
The next thing you know, they are hanging with us now.
Yeah.
Now they are riding and
That's
stuff
right,
like that.
by
You know what I'm
force.
saying?
That's how
It
the
happened like
recruitment
that a
went.
lot.
And it was a lot like that.
I
It was a
take
lot
it.
of money too. Like when I was coming up, like that was it. But the youngster, everybody my age, everybody in my group, we in all our age group, because he's like the OG, our OG. So it's like we was all hustling too. You know what I'm saying? And then some of us was on
And
some
that came
music shit
first.
too.
Right.
So a lot of us was on some creative shit at the same time. So it would spin that way, but we was everybody's really together. It wasn't no rank, it wasn't no nothing. We was all homies, all together.
All out.
You know what I'm saying? And that really pushed that line to the reason why it was that is because of the way we were. We was more structured in a construction neighborhood type way, like hustling, like actually like the Bay. You know what I'm saying?
And I bear witness to that because from the Crip perspective, that's what I thought about when I thought about MP Hood. The motherfuckers about getting their money on.
Yeah.
They not really. I mean, you got some that's with that shit, but the most of them, they about getting their money. They riding around with drops and candy paints and shit.
And
that's what they was doing.
Priority number one.
That was like number one.
That
And then
was
at the same
like-
time, the hood,
Right.
when we pushed the hood, it was like, I'm from Crescent Park. I got a whole nother hood.
Oh, yeah.
You feel me?
I've been there.
But I've been embraced in everything there as a youngster, and a lot of us kind of stretched from the East Bay to PA and everything, still
Right,
tied
right.
in, right?
That's what's
But
up.
we actually like really repping MP in a whole nother way when we do it. Yeah, we gonna rock the red, we gonna push the line, but we also repping like MP hood, that neighborhood right there. We get bread, we got fucking with hoes, niggas and pimps, niggas and did so much over there, you know what I mean? That I remember a lot of times that, you know what I'm saying, it was just, you would have to come over there to get us, cause
I've never been a pimp.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I never been
clarify
a
that.
Well, since you said that,
You
since
call
you
me.
said that, buddy, since you said that, let's go back to what Percy said. What you say, Max, Pimp,
Mac Pimps and
Max,
others.
hustle.
Max players and hustlers.
that's what
Yeah.
it is.
See, that was another one.
Another thing. See,
That
but
was another
the
one.
one we had most player hated. Like,
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
a lot
oh,
that
okay.
could,
Yeah.
that could go with that. Because you
Yeah.
got to understand, bruh, the whole city was getting, like, when you signed up to be rocking on some MP Hood stuff or, you know what I mean, to stand firm with it, like, it's a lot that came with it, man. It was funk with the whole city, and I'm talking from the Usos, the Asians, every black Crip gang, and on the east side, there was nothing but black Crip gangs. There's nothing,
Nothing but.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you funking with the whole city.
Then
You know
you
what I
get
mean?
some pushback from the
And-
Northanians a little bit
get-
too. You know
no,
what I mean?
They
It
kinda,
was everybody.
They rocked with us
Yeah.
a little more.
Yeah.
That's why we got love. We got North Daniels, and you know what I mean. We rock with our essays more so, or Northerners, than you know what I mean. Most do. You know what I
Most
mean?
do,
Because
yeah.
they had our backs at the most. You know what I mean?
Right.
If, not to say they gonna rock with us.
Oh
behind
yeah,
us, but
outside
they
the
gon-
neighborhood, the
You know what I
ones in
mean?
the neighborhood.
I ain't gonna put them on there like that, but they cool. They kept it neat, and you know. So you going against everybody. It's some people, but it still wasn't funk like that. It
Right.
wasn't just necessarily funk like that. They didn't like a specific person. Like they might just catch them slipping. You
Right.
feel me? Catch some of my partners slipping and they jump on him or something. But he don't like him because when they played football, he didn't like how he turned Crip and he didn't like how he turned.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right,
So
right.
they tripping and then it go down like that, or just be one of them days they deep somewhere and they just go.
And everybody
Like,
was young.
and look, if you go to the county jail, just take your stuff and put it on your bunk. Don't make your bed. Don't do none of that because it's finna go down. There's nowhere you could go. You know what I
Right,
mean? So
right.
it took a lot to stand firm and to keep it moving. That's why like Purse and Spoon, they, you know what I mean? It's another generation of cats that just kept, you know what I mean, kept it going. So
what year? And I understand the neighborhood aspect and how things came about. What year was a button pushed that you declared yourself the We Bloods, and that's period, straight up?
it was, I believe like 89, 90, I believe that the term MP Hood was coined, and it was like, you feel me? It was not necessarily that we're Bloods, but we're gonna do blood stuff. We're gonna
That's
look
right.
bloodish, like, you know what I mean?
That's right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because I know most of these people, you know what I mean, that
Right.
I'm into. It's not like this is just like a whole LA set just came
Right,
and just
right.
came.
That's
Nah,
right.
these are people that was already here, and they, you know what I mean? To me,
right.
doing LA stuff. So now, okay, when I see him, I'm
That's
getting, you
basically
know what I
what
mean?
it was.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna do extra, and, you know, and that's what that was. And then it just like it's a few sectors in the neighborhood that usually people really don't know that are really moving simultaneous, but they are independent of each other. You know what I mean? Because you have Flint Avenue, you know what I mean, with gumdrops and
Right,
Caroline all
right.
over there.
Mhm.
That was like a separate entity because then you got Moss Point. You know what I mean? Moss Point, they were like younger, you know what I mean? But they
Right.
was with it too, you know what I mean? And they right there by the high school. They, you know what I mean? They in high school. So, you know what I mean? They was with the movement. So, you know, and then you got the old hood up top, which I personally feel was from Moss Point, because that's some of they folks that they end up being
Right.
like, hey, we with it too. So then they with it too. And, you know, from there it flourished, and Moss Point and them kept the torch lit, you know, about 93, 94, it started getting real ugly on the Flint side. You know what I mean? They had a lot of highways in there, TJ Hooker, it was a lot of undercover. It was like, you know what I mean? That polyclass, 3 strikes, 93, 94, people know that was a bad look for just the east side, period, because they was going around picking a spot and they gonna tear it up. So it just so happened to be our turn at that time frame, and a lot of people started getting clipped and knocked down, and, you know, it ended up, the focus started moving towards Moss Point as, you know what I mean, the torch holders at this point, you know what I mean, because it was bad, you know, and they withstood it and they kept it going. So yeah.
So are you familiar with, because like I said, San Jose was basically a Crip city, majority Crips.
More than the majority.
But over the years, there had MP Hood is the premier blood gang in San Jose. We talk Bloods in San Jose, we just gonna say MP Hood. We don't mention nobody else.
Yeah.
It's MP Hood. You know, San Jose does not have a distinction like Long Beach, where there's no Bloods in the city. You know what I mean? We have Bloods, and they're in our city. Like my partner said on Facebook, he said, it's about time we give it up to the Red Sharks, man. MP Hood.
Yeah,
This
no
Crip
doubt.
said that on Facebook. He said, "Give man, that's what's up. They from the east."
sure, right
And I said,
on.
"For sure, man. I'm gonna sit down with them,
Appreciate
man."
that.
So, my boy Percy said the other ones that may have popped up, probably they was gonna get pushed back from us, most definitely.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But he also said probably gonna be some pushback from MP Hood, and I'm saying at one time I was incarcerated. I was incarcerated from people that was claiming the jungles. I was in when I was in a ranch back in 92, 93. I remember there was a push of a group called Foundation that was trying to come out, and then I told my boy Percy that I was on a bus a long time ago, and it was, I'm not mentioning no names, but there were 2 guys on the back of the bus 70 bus going to East Ridge. They had on all maroon with the Phillies hats on, and they was like, "Reese, we about to start Eastside Piru." I said, not gonna go.
They had like, it was a few that started. I remember they had they was gonna try to start Phoenicia Creek.
Yeah, Benicia Creek.
It was like, I mean, because you gotta understand, still at the same time, I mean, it's crazy. It's you know what I mean? It's retorted that because motherfuckers playing games, and now we not gonna let, because we still Bay Cats at the end of the day. Like a lot of our pushes, because you feel me, we got affiliation time from the Bay. A lot of people might not know. Because it's older now, I'm giving up shit, but that was back then. Like you wouldn't know, you'd think we deep, but it's just my partner came with his folks.
Right.
And they came from out of town. They just so happen to have a family. They coming deep, or I see one of my folks at the IES hall that's from Frisco, and they there deep, and they are, you know, and we rocking, and you know what I mean. And it's what is cold is it put a lot of pressure on. I'm gonna say myself personally, and it's a few other people that's from San Ho that it put a pressure on. You feel me? As far as it gives a question of town loyalty. You feel me? At that point, because now they saying we rocking with this city, or I seen them, you was kicking it with them folks.
Right.
But at the same time, this is, you know what I mean? These are my folks. You know what I mean? When I circulate, I don't go to the L. I mean, now I try to, or you feel me, as we older, but back then I circulated in the Bay Area if I was going, so I'm gonna jump on board. I'm going to Frisco, or You know what I mean? Finna go fuck mess with this broad I bumped in Hayward, or you know what I mean? Oh, this type of stuff. This is where I'm mingling at. So this is where I'm comfortable at. This is where I'm meeting people at. These, you feel me? But being that my city is against me, and I'm not going against my city, but I'm just going against the people that's against me right now. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, now that I was able to get out of the city, and you know what I mean, and not glorifying it, but I'm saying going on some prison stuff and being outside of your comfort zone of your city. You know what I mean? To see other people like Yak, I seen the video with him. Like, you know what I mean? At one point in time, he was a name that was, you know what I mean, on the list. Like, I might have been a name that was on his list, but now I bumped in and seen him. We grown men, and you know what I mean? It's a mutual respect. I respect you based on you always, through it all, represent San Ho.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm able to appreciate that. No, regardless if you was, whatever you was a reputable on that side, and you kept it San Ho. And it's a few Crips that I fuck with, you know what I mean, that I have respect for, you know what I mean? There was a time we was playing, we was doing our stuff, you know? But now you can see it now because luckily, or we got, to me, it just seemed like when the Sharks came, that was able to start bringing the city back because everybody had one flag to yell up under. Because now if I see a mech out here, you feel me, I see anybody, you got a Shark hat on, I know you from San Diego.
You know you from San Diego.
You feel me? You can be a white dude, Mexican dude, and I'm still going, and they gonna get that love. Like, you feel me? It be a Crip from trees. Oh, what's up? What's up, homie? Yeah, man. You feel me? It might be a couple of, oh yeah, I remember I got into it with your homeboy. Yeah, I got you over. You know what I mean? And then we back to it. We grown now. We got tracks, you know what I mean, doing music with Lil Shine, one of the homies, you know what I mean? You got Dior doing it, you got him doing it, to where it's the movement, you know what I mean? And not saying that we started, but we just kept the movement going. Because now people are starting to gravitate. I see gang members, you feel me? It's a few that still khakid and doing the stuff, but mostly they fit it. They got, you know what I mean? They doing they trues and all the stuff. You couldn't tell he was a gang member until he speaks. You know what I mean? Because now the dress code's different, the movement different. Everybody got the swag now. Is happy to hear 40 mention this in a song. You feel me? It's real. Good now. We back on the map. You know what I mean? And a lot of us withstood us not having nothing when it was just the San Jose Bees. That's all we had. It was the semi-pro team. It wasn't nothing. You had the Spartans, but I couldn't wear Spartan because it was blue, the gold, and the trees. They had that soda. That was their crown, so you couldn't really. You know what I mean? But you know, in hindsight now, you know, like I said, I respect all those gentlemen. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we was all on some East Side ride. You know what I mean? We was not respected. You know what I mean? Like, we all have our different opinions of why we weren't respected or why we weren't called upon. You know what I mean? And however it got. At one time, San Jose was not a Crip city. It was not. I'll call my daddy right now. I'll call my mama and ask her, like, you know what I mean? It was not that. You know what I mean? My cousin, all that. That wasn't what it was. It turned to that. And that's some powerful stuff, man. You know what I mean? For a whole city to turn to something else, because that's a strong movement. I have to respect that movement, bruh. You feel me? They turned the whole city, like, you know what I mean, into that movement. So that's respectable and commendable. It was good, you know what I mean, for them. However it played out for everybody else, whatever it is, that's, you know what I mean, your take on it, but, you know.
Well, that's the origins of the Crips, the original Crips. They get down, going city to city. They went to Inglewood, tried to get them to turn, but a couple people stood up. The Inglewood family stood up. Centinela Park stood up. They went to Compton. They tried to get them by. Where I'm from in Los Angeles is from Campanella Park, the Piru area. That's where my family's from, Campanella Park, Piru. So I grew up in that area. Running from Sherman Heads in the 80s and stuff. I was out there in Compton. But to hear about the Crips, when the Crips came, they tried to come to Piru Street and Lewis Park and Treetop and all these neighborhoods. Now, Compton has streets that are like tree streets, Fig, Cedar, and all that. They tried to go over there, but they said no. And we're gonna do this Piru, and then we're gonna take on this Maroon because the Inglewoods and the Bloods and Dorsey High School, the Bloods were starting their thing. So they was going, and whoever flipped, and it was looked at as you're not gonna come over here and punk us and make us conform.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of respect I give to MP Hood. You're not
Yeah.
gonna come over here. We know you the majority, but you're not gonna come over there. We're gonna stand on our own. And whatever opposition that comes to us, we're gonna have to handle it. That's why y'all get the most salute and props from me, just based on that alone. You know what I mean?
Sir, appreciate it.
Yeah, back to the
Appreciate it.
hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, back to the mountain. That's what it is. You know what I mean? And another thing I do want to say, and this is out of the utmost respect to the Crip Corps. You feel me? That none of our Crip sets, none of the Crip sets in San Jose are somewhere else. You feel me? Ain't no 60s, ain't no rolling, you know what I mean? No 8-tray, San Ho 8-trays, ain't no, you know what I mean? Then it's Sun Trees, that's been here, you know what I mean? Birdie, been here, Checkers Road, been here. All it's, you know what I mean? So, in a sense, I respect that. Because if you go to other spots, they got their whole name, their whole, you feel me? The whole cha-cha.
That's what my Damu partner that I interviewed, he said that. He said something similar to that when I interviewed him. He said the LA boys came down here and flipped these dudes out to the point that they was claiming LA gangs, but they was here, born and raised here. Right. So in San Jose, we gonna come up, we under that Crip car or we're up under that Blood car, but it's gonna be homegrown from this area.
Yeah, all the things. Them the only ones that's the only ones we would have respected though. We wouldn't have respected something else that was
Right.
somewhere else. You know what I mean?
So the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Elephant in the room. It has been said in San Jose from a couple of people, I've heard it over the years in the 90s, that MP Hood at one time used to be Crips. So I wanted to, we got some reputable men from MP Hood here, and we got one of the OGs here. So the OG, if you can clarify this for the public for here.
Okay, so, all right, when I used to see walk, it was, nah, I'm just like,
Oh my God! No.
Yeah, I ain't
Nah, I'm gonna say this. It was some gentlemen, like I said, I'm not gonna say no names, but it's some gentlemen that were that lived in Mount Pleasant, that ended up being Crips, you know what I mean? And they were older cats. They like dudes older than me, you know what I mean? And him and some of the older cats, they had fun. But it wasn't that he was never from MP Hood. He just lived there. His mama lived there, sister, all that shit, grew up there, but he just turned Crip. You know what I mean? And that's his function. He had they little squad that fucked with it. They lived there, but they weren't from MP Hood, and they were not from nowhere else. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's a neighborhood. You know what I mean? We playing the games, like, but everybody's not playing, like, you know what I mean? Yeah, y'all Crip and all that, but that's
Right.
whoop-de-whoop. I mean, anybody finna do nothing. You ain't finna go mess with that man and his mama and his sister and all that, man. You know what I mean? That's his choice. That's what he's doing. He's not having meetings. He's not, you know what I mean, doing nothing to bother. They go do their stuff. So, you feel me? But as far as anybody that was claiming MP Hood and turned Crip or was a Crip prior to that, I don't know. If he was and he switched, that's an individual. That wasn't a turf. That wasn't like, okay, we MP Hood Crips, and then one day like, nah, we gonna be MP Hood Bloods. That would be dumb. Like, not just get along with everybody. If that was the case, you feel me? Why switch back to cause problems? Like, that'd be stupid. Like, you know what I mean? That was the whole purpose of the movement. You know what I mean? Because it didn't want to. But like I say, those gentlemen that lived there, you know what I mean? That was, you know what I mean? That, you know, they catch bus, you know, you know. What's up, bro? What's up, man? Y'all still doing that shit? You know what I mean? He don't talk shit and all the shit, but
Right.
you know.
So in 2021, would you guys consider MP Hood still relevant in a presence in San Jose?
I think you would have to ask San Jose that. I'm just happy myself from my origins and seeing it, and you know, the beginning to seeing that there's still people claiming MP Hood, that is respected. You feel me? Because there's a lot of spots that fizzled on out. You know what I mean? It's a lot of spots that ain't heard of, Crips and Blood sets. You know what I mean? And I feel, you know, just the fact that it's still generations moving. You know what I mean? Yeah, I tip my hat to them. Like, if nobody else do, I'm gonna tip my hat to them, because you know, like, y'all really don't understand. It was not as deep as y'all thought. It was like, you know what I mean, maybe 10, 15 cats. You feel me? 20 at the most moving, and that was it. You know what I mean? Some nights was ours, some nights was theirs. You know what I mean? So
Here's a question I thought of. Just I'm sitting here thinking about because we talking about Mount Pleasant and a lot of scenes is going through my mind. I've always known the guys from the Mount Pleasant area to be. They be on their fly shit, man. They be looking real nice, be geared up, fly shit. I've never known them, even though some may have identified as Bloods, I've never known them to look like the cliche gangbanger.
right.
Khakis, braids, bandanas. So I'm saying that to say that because they was always geared up.
Yeah.
But recently, when I seen one of the fallen brothers, Kenyon, pass,
That's my
Rest in
nigga.
peace,
Rest in
Kenya.
peace, Kilo.
Kilo.
I seen pictures from the funeral. That's the first time I've ever seen MP Hood with bandanas out and everything. And where was the change in that? When it used to be on some real fly kind of pop collar kind of stuff, that's some dudes over there. And then when I seen the pictures from that funeral, I seen it looked like a Los Angeles funeral. It had bandanas and all kind of stuff. And I was like,
All right.
oh my God.
Let me try to be. I'm not trying to say my it's my personal thing on that. Kilo was
He was pushing that line.
yes, he
Okay.
was on it. He with that movement.
with
That
that
was like a dedication.
To
You know what I
him.
mean to him. More so him because he would be the one in some khakis in the Pendleton and really be.
And I was just
booming,
about
like-
to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that.
Like,
Because
you
I
feel me?
remember
If you-
seeing pictures of
If
him
you
like
see
that.
his pictures, like
Yeah.
them is just them wasn't just planted. That was him on a daily basis.
Right.
Like
Mr. MP
you
Hood.
feel me? He
That's
rocked
Mr.
hard with
MP
it.
Hood himself.
That's Mr.
So
MP
that's
Hood.
why everybody kind of went into that mode. Like if you went, not saying that, but if you went to one of ours, you're not gonna see everybody dressed like that.
Right,
You're gonna see suits. You're gonna
Right,
see,
right, right.
not just saying we're not like that, but
Mhm.
it was a whole different aura with
Okay.
That was
Kilo,
out of
man.
respect.
That was like
out
the
of
man
respect.
right
And
there.
then at the
Yeah,
same
man.
time, I wasn't there though, rest in peace, Kenyon, man. But he created a whole nother movement out there.
Yeah, Mel B. Remember I told you.
I went
said
out
it
there,
was
he
more
took
Mel
me
B.
out there,
more
rest in peace, before he
Vanessa.
died a few times. I wouldn't mess with him out there, and I couldn't believe what I seen. He created a whole nother MP Hood. Like you were saying earlier, like get sets from other cities come to another city. He actually did that out there.
But they was deeper than us.
And I didn't
At
even
the
know,
funeral.
and I was very surprised. I was like, dang.
He made it happen.
They was
so
deeper than we were.
Maybe that's probably where all that, where you say you seen the red rags and everything,
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
because
yeah.
that's a whole nother movement in that city.
Yeah,
So-
he had family there too, though. It was a lot of, you know what I mean?
Right. So
I mean, if you look on there, it's people that was there that was red, had flamed up and all this stuff that really wasn't even from NPA. They just went to Mount Pleasant or they Mount Pleasant or they
Right.
affiliated with it, but they not, you know what I mean, with it. Like
right.
if they got pulled up on, they wouldn't say, yeah, I'm from MP Hood and take that lump. They're gonna be like, well, I stay around there. My mom used to be last week when I was down there. You know what I mean? It'd be one of them around the
Right,
bend.
right, right, right.
And that's the one that's gonna come back without no lumps. And then
Yeah.
you know he ain't getting down from the hood. That's how you know who getting down. If you come back, you got a lump on your eye,
Gotta have
like,
to.
hey, you know, I got into it with him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but yeah, you know what I mean? That, like, to answer that, that was out of respect for Blood.
Good, man. That's,
sure.
that's much
You know,
respect.
because most time you gonna see, because we really was on some Bay movement, like we really, and you know, it's always been that. But you know, we playing games, we playing LA games for a little while. That's all we was doing, you know. At the end
So,
of the day.
I'm gonna start to bring it to an end. I just want to ask, Money and Spoon, man, what y'all up to now, career-wise and family-wise, man? I mean, like you said, man, them was those days, and now we on some grown shit, man. So what's going on with you now? I know you was doing music for a minute, Spoon.
Yeah, I'm still doing the music,
Uh-huh.
man. You know, I'm working on an album right now. You know what I'm saying? It's called St. Patrick.
Okay.
And I'm working on a Louis Rich mixtape. You feel me? That's what I got working as far as the music. My kids is grown, you know what I'm saying? They 18 and 17. They
Right.
opting out of that, you know what I'm saying? I got 3 businesses in Los Angeles, you feel me?
Good.
I own a CBD shop, a beauty supply, and a barber shop.
Man, that's
You know
beautiful.
what I'm saying? So I'm out that way doing business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shit, I'm 45. I turned 45 yesterday.
Man,
You know what
happy
I'm saying?
belated birthday.
Right on, right on. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just living, man. You know what I'm saying? Blessed to be here still.
Man,
You're still trying to push the movement. You know what I'm saying?
all day.
And you know what I'm saying? Shout out to you know what I'm saying, Black August Studios.
Yes,
You feel me?
sir.
For even having me here, man. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
sir.
shit, that's good. You putting us, you know, giving us that little voice right now.
Mandatory.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that too, cause you know, shit, I want to come back and do a segment on the music, man, cause
Man, it's all good.
you know, a lot of us that ain't all the way home, that got the skill and that been really in the game for a long time, right along next to everybody, but just not on. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yes, sir.
And you know, you one of them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
The music, rest in peace.
yeah,
D-Mac.
rest in peace, D-Mac. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Ed, you know what I mean? So, Cool Nut, you know what I'm saying?
All day, man.
So,
Appreciate you being here, man.
yeah, so that's all I've been doing, man. Just trying to stay positive, you know what I'm saying? Trying to stay moving, get this dough, you know what I'm saying? Be successful, you feel me?
So, what about you, man?
I just been waiting on my stimulus. You know.
Comedy hour, huh?
Nah, I'm sick of this shit. Like, how you go from this to me? Like, you know what I mean? Come all kind of businesses and all kinds. I ain't got half of what you talking about. Right now. And so not to expose myself to what I'm doing, in contrast to what he is, I'm doing all right. You know what I mean? I'm just to the level to where I can look at stuff now and see for what it's worth. You know, everything in your life is something that happens, and it's not a regret because it's made you you. You know what I mean? And you know, I'm just at a point now. I'm just appreciating the people around me, the positive people. You know what I mean? And the people that I feel are up under the same spiritual movement as myself. You know what I mean? I don't know, just extra church stuff, but just on the you know what I mean, uplifting and growth. You know, because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. You know, I laugh and joke, but I mean, you know, times is real stiff. It's real hard, you know, and it's hard for us to get a real platform, you know what I mean? And when we do get the platform, yeah, we can speak about the past and we can, you know, mix in, and because that helps people understand our, you know what I mean, our movement towards our future, you know what I mean? And I feel that, you know, unity is going to be that end all tell all. Because once that happens, then we go from there. You know, hopefully, you know, people will see this and, you know, just get an understanding of the other side to where they might see somebody that they didn't like from my neighborhood and they can just finally be like, oh, well, I didn't know you thought that. You know what I mean? I thought you was like, fuck saying, oh, but you really was repping saying, you know what I mean? That type of stuff. So,
Real talk.
you know what I mean? That's all, and I appreciate, you know what I mean, you doing this because at the same time you give the opportunity to have some type of social unity, to have some type of commonality, you know, because I can talk to the people that did an interview. We have something in common. You know what I mean?
Right.
We know Reese, we on the interview. And remember when he said that? Damn, he didn't even ask me that. My didn't even tell me that good ass question. You know what I mean?
That's
so,
right. That's
you know, this in itself brings people together. So,
Yeah, man.
you know, I appreciate you and I appreciate this.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Like I say
Appreciate
from the
your
jump,
time.
let me say this. If I didn't shout out no name or nothing, it's because I didn't talk to you and I didn't want to put you in no mix. But you feel me? If you was there,
They
you
know who they
You
are.
know
That's
your
what they know
names.
they are.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not gonna say one name and then not say them all. And then
I
if I
just
say them
want to give
all,
out a shout to everybody in San Jose. Like, that's my
Straight up.
second home.
Yes,
I love
sir.
San Jose. You feel me? I just want to give a shout out to all the hoods in San Jose. You know what I'm saying? All the rappers in San Jose came up from nothing. Everybody that's been doing things over the years, and you know what I'm saying. Keep that movement going, man. You know what I'm
Straight up.
saying? For sure.
Man, appreciate y'all, man. Persh, you
Yeah.
was kind of quiet over there, man. You wanna end it off for us?
Oh man, I just piggyback off what they said, man. You know, John put it perfectly. You know what I mean? Hopefully, it's clear up a lot of perception about MP people had. You know what I mean? Because we were the bad guy. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? Hopefully, this clear things up. And like he said, if you did have a problem with us, maybe this may, you know what I mean, change your mind about certain things.
Yes,
You know
sir,
what I'm saying?
man. So I thank you guys for sharing some of your time and giving me some of your time so we can sit down as brothers and,
Yes, sir.
and have a conversation, man, and begin some of the healing that
Yeah.
needs to be done.
Yes,
Right.
sir. Yes,
Things
sir.
that need to be talked about because we
Sir.
all come from the same spot. We all from the same area, and it's about unity, man. we older, we got children that's grown and shit, and it's about coming together, man. So one love to MP Hood and 2 3 brothers, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
For sure.
Appreciate you, Reese.
One.